these in live coming up too.
And I've recorded some of these.
And these are in the Canto, right?
The webinars, no, they're in that link I sent you that if you go to Chrome,
Get rid of some of this Chrome.
and then they're right there. Oh, they were,
Stupid thing.
yeah, they're in.
Pro Services, Pro Series. Yeah. Not Canto, but the place to get to Canto.
That's a webinar I recorded recently.
Okay.
So we have a sheet. It shows you the three kinds of switches and the three controllers.
Yep.
Okay. These two are our most popular ones. Make this a little bigger. This one comes in the combo, and this one has the alarms in it. Okay. This is a dual float, and these two are for sump or sewage. This is for clear water only. Okay.
I did read that.
Yep. So these can be used in either sump or sewage, the tether and the vertical, but they're a little bit bigger. They're more mechanical, so they're a little harder to use. The dual float here has two floats on it. One's here, one's here. Either one will turn the pump on. Then you mount it on the pipe or on the side of the pit, and you set the bottom float just below the drain tile. So if the drain tile is coming in right there, your bottom float would be right there, and that's where the water would come up and raise that up and then turn the pump on just before it starts to fill up the drain tile, which is designed to keep water out of the house.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you have C1, C1.5, and C2. If you put these together, right, you get the DF, dual float, C1.5. And that is a DF C2. Great. I can just probably hit clear page. This is a good look at a DFC2. So on this unit, there's two built-in alarms. One right here, two right here. So one is an alarm. If the power goes out, it's going to alarm, tell you the power's out. And two, it's going to start counting. If a float gets lifted, either float gets lifted, it's going to sound an alarm if it's been up for 10 consecutive minutes. If it drops down at like 9 minutes and 50 seconds, let's say,
Yeah.
it'll reset the timer and it'll start counting again.
again.
So why do we care about that? Well, the float only moves like maybe a half an inch right in there, goes up and down, right? So as soon as water lifts it up, the pump turns on, it should drop. If it hasn't dropped in 10 minutes, something's wrong. It could be that it's not keeping up. It could be that there's a broken discharge or something like that.
Now, question.
Yeah.
So, say if the water rises,
Yep.
this thing, for whatever reason, this switch
This
fails,
one's bad.
fails,
Okay.
and then it hits this one.
It'll turn the pump on.
Okay. Now,
Do you know?
Say again?
You don't know if it hits that top one yet.
Okay.
That's coming down the road.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe you have a light that says top float.
Yeah. That's what I didn't know if it could tell you if, all right, so that bottom one's bad, something's wrong. You need to look at this because this bottom one didn't kick on.
Right.
Yeah.
What you could do right now is you could put that PSWS accessory right there, the same level as the top float, and then you would know.
Yeah.
Because you would get a different alarm.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, it's good. I love it. It's great. So those are the two alarms built into it. The other lights are the system is operating, which means it's plugged in and powered up and booted up and working. And the second one here is we just did pump or flow problem, is high water alarm, optional feature. And that is, there's an accessory port right down here that two accessories will plug into. One is our PS-WS360. It's this puck thing right here.
Yep.
And the other one is the PS-WS. So it stands for water sensor, PS-Pro Series water sensor, or Pro Series water sensor with this 360 technology can go on it. Then there's a couple other bells and whistles in this box. This is for home security system. This is for our Wi-Fi, USB port right there. And then under here, there's a little 9-volt battery goes in there, and it'll alarm if there's a power outage. That's the purpose of the 9-volt battery. The other thing about this unit is when power goes out, right, and you get this light, the way it beeps is it uses the 9-volt battery. Now, if a homeowner doesn't want to sit there and listen to it beep, they just come downstairs and they flip this switch to off. and then it'll be quiet. Now, if power comes back on to the unit, it'll beep again, reminding them to put the switch back the other way. Exactly.
That's very good. Can they use USB to do flash updates and stuff? Is that
Not to the unit here
Okay.
yet,
I didn't know if they have
but we
something.
can push updates to the Wi-Fi.
Oh, so you can go through Wi-Fi. Okay.
We can push updates over the air to our Wi-Fi unit, but not to our control boxes.
Okay.
So that's DFC2, and this cord just comes down here and plugs into that box. That's 1.5. It has the same adjustable run timer that's on the front in the 1.5, and it's in the top on the 2, down below the battery. And what that float does, or what that run timer does, is it tells you how long does the pump run for after the float drops. So from 5 to 45 seconds. So water comes in, lifts the float, pump turns on, drops the float right away, and then we decide how long does it run for after that to drain down the basin. Okay. 1.5 also has a weekly activation. So every week it exercises the pump, just like the 2
Turns
does.
it on, yeah.
Turns it on. No alarms.
So it has no alarm period.
Nope. It doesn't beep, doesn't have any alarms.
It just
It's an on and off
cycles
exercise timer.
Yeah.
Now, originally we made the 1.5 for the combo systems. That's the 1.5. And the reason we didn't put alarms in it is because all the alarms are in that box
Yeah,
right there
yeah.
already.
They've been
We
redundant.
didn't want to replicate.
Yeah, been
It got
redundant,
confusing.
yeah.
So it became really popular because it has the quick connect and the weekly cycle. And there are some situations where people don't want an alarm, like in a crawl space where they can't get to it or
Yeah,
something.
that's for sure.
So that's that. And then that's the same controller, but now you have a vertical switch.
Yep.
That's a VSC 1.5. Now in this vertical switch, you'll see that grommet right there,
Just-
which has it pinned down, right? So when water comes in and pushes this float up,
Yep.
the rod pushes up, turns the pump on,
Because the switch is located up here.
right? And then this is the off. The timer is the off in there. This is a good picture of the
9 volt.
timer and the 9 volt from the DFC2. Okay, now this is a 2400. This is the big backup system. There's 4 alarms in this backup system. Top one is something's wrong with your battery.
Yep.
It does have some limited language on it. It says battery terminals are corroded or battery is defective. Clean terminals or replace battery. There's other things that could go wrong with the battery besides the terminals being bad. Like, why do we care if the
Cells.
terminals are corroded? Because if the terminals are corroded, you can't get gallons out of the pump. It's not inefficient, right? But you could get a bad cell, right?
Bad
You
cell,
could get
yeah.
anything. Like,
Yeah.
so this is going to be all things battery related.
Yep. All encompassing.
This is going to be, your backup's not getting power. This is going to be, your backup pump is pulling high amps. For some reason, either it's jammed, bad bearing, unplugged, and there's in the back of a 2400 in the back here, there's an AC fuse that's like a little like 5-volt barrel fuse, and there's a DC fuse that's a 25 amp like block fuse for a car. So this one here protects the box from any power surge that's DC. So the lightning hits near the house, goes
Yep.
up, or the pump pulls high amps, right? Trips that fuse.
And this pump pulls what, 23 amps or something like that?
I think the pump pulls, it's a 25 amp fuse.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm
it's
saying.
less
It's
than
going to
that.
be less than that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably more like 15, 18, something like
okay.
that. And then this one just tells you the pump turned on, the backup pump turned on.
Yep.
So if your backup pump turns on, you're going to get an alarm. And those are the 4 alarms that are in the current 2400.
Okay.
Okay. There's battery lights like that, 25, 50, 75, 100.
And that's part of the tether or the charger program, trickle charger that kind of relates.
This has like a multi-stage
Yeah.
big charger in
Yeah.
it. But this is telling you how much battery life is left
Yeah.
once power goes out. Now, if you press and hold, so this thing says Press button for 1 second to reset. Press button for 5 seconds to silence alarm for 24 hours, okay? So let's say I go down here and I press this button in and I hold it in for 5 seconds. I hear a beep and I'm done,
Yep.
right? Now it's going to be quiet for 24
Yep.
hours unless there's something that's going to cause the system to fail.
Okay.
So let's say something happens to the backup pump. Pebble gets jammed in it. The alarm's going to come back on at that point. Or your battery light gets down to 25%. Alarm's going to come back on at that point. Say, you might flood your basement. I know you told me to be quiet, but
But this is emergency.
this is an emergency.
Yeah.
A regular power outage, you don't want to hear it beep. You press the button, you go to bed.
Now, is this the one that's going to have two dual batteries as well?
This one can take 2 batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one and the second one under it, the
Yeah.
1850.
Okay.
So, yep, so the 3 backups are 1000, 1850,
And 2400.
and 2400.
1850 and
And
2400
they're
both take the
C11,
batteries.
C22, C33 are their combination
Yeah, yeah.
systems. The PS C33, PS Pro Series,
Yeah.
Combo 33, 22, 11. Oops. Whatever. Clear. That's a PSC 33. That's your main pump. That's your backup pump. That's your backup float. That's your primary float.
What do you see percentage to regular sump pumps and a combo pump installed?
Oh, it's the same ratio.
Same
that
ratio.
Same 10 to 1 at retail.
Okay. Okay.
It's low.
It's low.
And now in our world, like backups, the combos,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably 60-70% combos
Really?
to
So,
20-30-40% backups, depending on which model.
yeah,
It's more combos than backups.
more combos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you're putting a backup in your primary pump, like unless it's brand new, like it's going to cost the plumber more in labor and time to plumb it together with your existing primary than
and
just
with this,
to
and just
replace it.
drop in. You hook up your connection, you're
Yep.
done.
And this is your same 4 alarms on your
Mhm.
1850.
Mhm.
Your charging light has 3 states of charge, blinking on or off.
Yep.
That's for your home security. That's your USB port. You got your battery light, your DC alarm,
Same thing.
your backup pump is active. They're not in the same order though.
Yeah, yeah. Because the other one, it's DC fuse, so it's
Right.
third.
And this one has a DC fuse here, and the AC fuse is in the transformer
Yeah.
that plugs in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so kind of simple.
I can live with that.
Yep. I'm recording this, by the way, so you can. I'm just going to give it to you after. So that's your PS-WS360. That is your PS-WS. That's right. That's your extension if you wanted to
20
extend
foot,
them.
right?
Those can plug into either your DFC2 or a water alarm.
Okay.
So a super simple way to give somebody a float or like an alarm in an existing sump pump is that little sensor plugged right into there.
More than one?
You can do not more than one float, but you can do more than one of these.
Sensors.
Yeah,
So you can do more than one sensor, but you can only do one float.
right.
Okay. Or you can only do one float.
At the end
And
of
no
a bunch
sensors.
of at the end of a bunch of sensors, you could do a float
That's good. Okay.
if you really wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's common application for this and this.
Okay.
Plumber goes to a house to put a water heater in. Hey, Mrs. Smith, I was down in your basement. Thanks for letting us put the water heater in today. I noticed when I was down there you didn't have an alarm. Looks like you have a sump pump down there. You know, here's some info on a battery. Backup, leave behind sheet. You didn't have an alarm down there, so you know what? I took the liberty of just putting a basic alarm in down there for you. If it goes off, just give us a call. So this here is like, this here is like maybe $11 or $12 wholesale cost. This thing here is like $10. So for $20, he's putting in an alarm for a homeowner where they just gave him maybe a $1,500 job. And if that pump fails, they're gonna have a sticker on there and they're gonna get that call. So that's a really common way to use those as almost like a giveaway, build it into the price. A lot of guys do that.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that they do is like a foundation guy. An average quote for a foundation guy is like 2 to 3 hours, and homeowners are getting 2 to 3 quotes. So they're giving up a day to get these quotes on a job that's probably 6 to 20 grand, right? Depending on what it is. It's expensive. So some waterproofers will go to a house. They already a lot of times they already have a pump. It's just they're having water come in from somewhere else in the house or whatever. They'll say, "Hey, thanks for letting me come over and do this quote. I noticed you have a pump down there. I wanted to just take care of putting on an alarm for you while I was here today." They just put it on. It's part of the bid. See you later. And then homeowners often get this feeling like, "Oh, this guy actually did something for me while he was here. He just didn't take 3 hours of my time and give me a quote," right? So that's kind of a popular thing there, and they'll brand those with their sticker on them.
So a carrot.
Yeah,
Basically giving them a carrot.
yeah.
That's all you do.
A little warm and fuzzy, right?
Yeah.
So that's our 360 water alarm. That's a standalone water
And that can
alarm.
go anywhere.
Can go anywhere.
Throw it anywhere. It doesn't need to be
It
connected.
has
It
its
doesn't need
own
anything.
thing.
It's
Exactly.
just, it's all
And
self-contained.
that's $11.80 wholesale.
Yeah.
So probably $15 to the plumber.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Battery? What's
Yeah,
that?
9-volt battery goes
9
in
volt.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Not included. That's Clenet Iron Ogre Cleaner.
You guys still carry it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we sold a decent amount of it. A little more every year. Not tons, but like a little more every year. Okay, so this is a check valve. Now we got into the check valve market and we started doing it a little differently. So this is your normal check valve. And this is what you're going to see at like most places.
These flappers, right?
Little flapper
Right.
right in there.
Okay.
And water comes in, pushes the flapper up,
And
and
it
water
closes.
comes out. Exactly. And these are typically at retail 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches.
Most 1.5 inches. Yeah.
Okay. Now in plumbing wholesale, no one uses 1.25 inches. And what happens is these little rubber couplings, they're not rated for pressure. So they bend like that over time if the pump moves, or because the plastic, this piece of pipe is only going right to there.
Yeah.
And this one's going right to there. So this is all just rubber right in here. And they can blow off or come off or whatever. So we said, all right, we're going to do it better. So we have a check valve, that's this one here, where the pipe actually goes down all the way to there. And this is a 2-inch to 1.5-inch boot.
Okay.
So the coupling is really just the sleeve over the whole assembly. And then
It's really solid. It's just got a sleeve.
really solid. And the other thing you can do is actually pull these couplings off, and you can glue, PVC glue that
directly
in.
to it.
Yep, it's PVC. This one over here, this is ABS, so cheaper material, and you have to use, if you're gonna, I don't even know if you can glue to that, but if you're going to use, you have to use transition glue, and this is rated for 350 PSI. It's like really solid. Now there's two kinds of check valves in the world, really. There's quiet and not quiet. So in here, there's a flapper, right?
Yes.
And then there's a spring. The flapper's actually right down there. And there's a little spring that's like pushing the flapper that way, down. So it's 0.5 lb, half pound spring.
Half pound spring.
Yeah. So water comes in, pushes the flapper up. Now, as soon as the pump turns off and there's no force coming up the pipe, the flapper pulls down before water can come down and hit the flapper.
Yes.
And one of the common things in sump pump land is you get these flappers that are like, they like kind of bounce like from the water hitting on them. So these are quiet, and that's how people do a quiet check valve.
Okay.
Then you got the full catalog. So this is the little presentation I use regularly. I have a couple slides in the end. You can draw on them. Here I'm talking about what's called total dynamic head. So I'll do that with you. Okay. So total dynamic head is the measure of how much water will a pump move when you include like all the 90s and fittings and various things that happen. So if you look at like, I'll just grab any pump curve. Let me just find one. Okay, here's one. The way a pump curve reads is down here you've got gallons per minute, and up here you have height, right? So, okay, so it's saying at 10 feet, you're pumping 50, I know this happens to be 53 gallons per minute. Okay, at 15 feet, you're doing like, 37, call it, something like that. That's a pump curve. So, the reason we often measure 10 feet is because pits are usually 2 feet deep and basements are usually 8 feet deep. So that's like your 10 feet. That's most companies measure that at 10 feet and publish
The 10
a
feet.
0 and a 10. We do gallons per minute, gallons per hour, and 0 and 10. So, okay. So now what happens when you have a pit right here, okay, and you have a pump, and you go up, and sometimes you go straight over to the wall, and you go up the wall, and then you go out of the house, and then sometimes when you get out of the house, you go straight down. And then you have a check valve right here. Okay, so you have a 90 and a 90 and a 90 and a 90 and a check valve.
Yeah. So it's 5.
That affects the performance of a pump.
Yeah.
So there are ways to calculate total dynamic head, it's called. It's all about friction loss in a pipe. I like to give guys just a basic, simple rule of thumb, okay? And the rules of thumb, after I like ran a calculator in a ton of different scenarios, I came up with some basic rules of thumb to give guys. And that's 1 foot. Sorry, my handwriting sucks. 1 foot, 90, or 1 foot for 245s.
Losing a foot of every 90.
One.
Now is this based off 10 feet?
1 foot for every 90. This is based off 1.5 pipe.
Okay.
I didn't really measure the friction loss within the pipe of the 10 feet because the pipe companies measure friction loss per 100 feet.
Okay.
And so we never really run into friction loss in the pipe.
Yeah.
Okay. The one I did give guys is,
So basically, for every 90, you're going to be losing a foot.
yep,
So, and you can take that off the pump rate.
so I gave him this too. 1 foot for a check valve or 1 foot for 245s. Sometimes you get like a guy coming over here and doing that where you'd have a 45 and a 45 instead of the 90s,
Yeah.
right? And then I also gave him this one because sometimes this piece right here, the basement might be far, and that horizontal piece in the ceiling might be really long, and it might be aimed back towards the pit, and it might be holding a ton of water in there.
It has to
The
push it
pump
out.
has to push it all out, right? So I said and you lose a foot for every 20 feet holding water. If it gets up to that edge and then gravity out,
Yeah, it's fine.
it's kind of fine. Yeah. So, what does this mean? So, like in most houses, you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, 5 feet.
And then you'd go and you'd look back at your pump curve. Whatever.
There.
Here's one here. So this is the chemical pump curve. So you'd be looking at 50-ish gallons.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that.
So it's kind of a handy way to
Yep.
to monitor it and measure it. Most guys don't have any idea about. Now, what I would tell you about the math that I'm doing there is it's really conservative.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not quite that bad.
Yeah.
It's close. Here's the other thing I could tell you. This kind of comes into handy selling. Zoller M53
Yep.
is 34 at 10, is 20 at 15, and 0 at 19 feet.
What the hell is that?
So they pump 20 gallons a minute at 15 foot ahead.
And 0 at 19.
But they zero
So
out. It can't go past 19 foot ahead.
So 4 feet additionally, and it's
It's capped out. Now, remember I was telling you about how the better solid handling you have, the less high you can go? That's kind of part of the reason there.
okay.
But this one here, they're 9.7 amps, doing 20 gallons at 15 foot ahead, okay? Our price equivalent, is this guy, okay? The good.
Okay.
And the pump curve for it is this gray one. So at 15 foot ahead,
You're
we're
probably
doing
38,
double.
37.
On 3.8 amps, we're almost doing double the amount. of water.
Wow.
So half the amount of electricity doing twice as much work in most houses, in your average houses. And that's one of the things I do sell on guys. I show them that if they're a big Zoller guy,
Yeah.
you know. Here's the other thing I would show you. It's 130.
You can take that if you need it.
That's groundwork, so I do have to
Yeah, take that.
one. This is Joe. Good. Hey, how are you? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, they're too small. That's okay. Yeah, we can help with that. Is the drain tile running full? Like, is the drain tile like is it? Oh, so you don't even have drain tile, and you just have a pit sunk in the ground, in the dirt, or like you cut some concrete up, and you have enough water flowing in there. Oh, okay. And the pumps are running and it's not emptying. Okay, okay, okay. And at the end of this project, are you going to have one basin or two basins? What do you